and pin, pin, pin. 1 second. Just forget how to. There we go. Okay, now we're rolling. So once you find your seat, you can really snuggle in a little bit and imagine your sitting bones, your ischial tuberosities, like actual tubers, like little roots, vegetables that root way, way down into the earth. And as you breathe, can you imagine breathing right down into the planet, wherever you might be in your space, whether you're on the ground floor or in an apartment, can you imagine the earth underneath you? And for a moment, just feel what a relief it is just to sit. What a relief it is just to be held by the earth, to be supported. And imagining the layers of the earth that you could travel through with your in-breath down through the crust, all the way down through the layers, through the cool, moist soil, to the underwater aquifers of water, underground aquifers, all the way down into the hot, molten center of the planet. And when you breathe out, so the in-breath is all the way down into the center of the earth. And in the out breath, can you feel it come right up through the center channel of your spine? So that we don't always have to go up on the inhale and down on the exhale. We could change it a bit. Hi, Jen. We're just breathing, simple breathing, inhaling down into the center of the earth through all the layers of the planet, and exhaling up through the base, up through your spine, all the way up and out through the crown of your head, and keeping all that lovely lift, that sort of effervescent height as you inhale again. So we're going to start with some breathing today. You can just keep going, breathing as you breathe at your own pace. This breathing, it's a Tibetan breathing practice called 9-part breath. And it's an alternate nostril breath, but it's a little different than we usually do it. It's with no hands. So a no hands alternate nostril breath. We're going to inhale through the left side, exhale through the right 3 times. Then we'll switch it in through the right, out through the left 3 times, and then in through both, out through both 3 times. And I'll count, we'll do it all together. We'll try to stay together for this one. And so take another easy breath in. Let it all the way out. We'll do that one more time, seeing if we could start to sync up here, breathing in a nice longer breath in. And a longer breath out, and then we'll begin. So inhaling through the left for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4, and we switch. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now both. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Breathe normally. Just an easy, receptive breath. I'm just noticing if even just one short breathing practice has changed anything for you. I always think of the Yoga Sutras, the one sutra in pranayama that says, through the practice of pranayama, the veil that covers your inner light is removed. So beautiful. And so sitting just for another moment together, just been really enjoying just sitting lightly. And sitting as we sit here together, it's nice to sit with other people. Just touching in to your heart, your tender human heart for a moment. And as you sit and touch into this tender heart of yours, just maybe thinking about touching on the idea of what's your motivation here? Why do you come to this practice? Why do you practice? And, whatever your longing is, perhaps it's a longing for the end of suffering. Perhaps it's a longing for connection with yourself or with others, the human and non-human around us. Perhaps it's a longing for steadiness, clarity, strength of mind, whatever it might be. And as you tap in to your own personal longing, motivation, feeling into that, touching that, and knowing that that is the first step to what the Buddhists call bodhicitta. Chitta meaning our mind, kind of our heart mind, and bodhi, aware or awakened. And in the Buddhist text, it says that that's the first impulse to awaken is there in our longing. And so it's a really beautiful thing, and it's really rare that most people don't even go that far. So to touch into this longing is really beautiful and powerful. And we can touch it and feel it. And then we can nurture it. Whatever that longing that you have is, we can nurture that longing. And so we'll do that. We're going to start tonight with a Sphinx pose. And so this is where you might want a blanket. So I'll show you one variation that you could choose or not. And so just know that you all are very free to interpret my suggestions as you need to for your own personal body this evening. So if something doesn't fit you quite right, you can change it, skip it, whatever you need to do. But I'm going to have a blanket next to me, because when I come into Sphinx, I'm gonna bring elbows under shoulders, forearms on the floor, palms nice and heavy, like two paperweights on the ground. And I'm gonna take my right leg and bring it into like a half frog here. And it's gonna be more sensation with the blanket. Take the blanket away, it's a little bit less sensation. And remember, we're not hunting for sensation here. We really do wanna stay where it's subtle. If we push too much, we lose it. The moment we push too much, we lose all of the beautiful subtlety, all the texture of the shape gets lost. Okay, but if it does feel like you might want something underneath your knee, you could do that. See, you could even fold it a little more. So this is going to give you more external rotation of that right leg. This is going to give you less. Okay, and if the leg stuck out to the side like this is not for you, you could always keep it really simple and have both legs stretch back behind you. And then one more thing is that if you want somewhere to rest your head, if you happen to have a block nearby, you might turn the block on its tall side and you could rest your forehead on it if that feels like something you want, something that your body craves. We'll be a couple minutes in this shape and really bringing the idea of earthiness into your right hip, feeling the weight of your right leg, allowing gravity to move through your right leg and help it to pour in the direction of the ground. And the right hip, soft, opening like a flower. And maybe some sense of pressure in your low back. And that's okay. Compression is what we're looking for here. Compression is like nectar to your body. So soak it in. But if it ever feels sharp or hot or too much, come out or take a break. Right, touch back into that soft place of longing in your heart. Pema Chodron, she calls it the soft spot. The soft spot. And it's where our bodhicitta wakes up, but it's also where we're the most vulnerable. And so we tend to want to protect it, defend it, cement it over. And boy, do I have a lot of strategies for that. But we always have a choice, right? We can let the circumstances of our life harden us, or we can let them make us softer and kinder. So let's work with that tonight. Whatever obstacles we might feel in our body, in our mind, and our hearts, to lean into them and let them soften us. So wherever you feel the sensation the most here, could you lean into it a little bit? Empty yourself into it and spread out and soften. Feeling into the texture of quiet. What is the texture of quiet for you tonight? You feel it in your body. Just to notice, like I know for me, my mind is always trying to keep busy. And it's hard to find moments of just open awareness. And so I'm kind of working on those moments, when you're lost and then you realize you're lost. You realize your mind has wandered off. That's the moment I've been trying to really feel into the texture of that moment when you realize it, because that's open awareness. We've got just another couple of breaths, long, long exhales. Let them trail away. If there's anywhere that you're defending, resisting, protecting, just to notice. Maybe noticing is enough. It's a lot, this one. So when you come out, let's come out really luxuriously slow. And my thought was that you could either just stretch your leg back, make a pillow for your hands, drop your head if that feels good. If you need something else, please take something else. Eventually, where we're headed for the next two shapes is on our back. And so there's no hurry at all to get there. But when you feel like you're ready to, you could pour over onto your back and rest there for a moment. Just letting the echo of that pose fade. Try to stay very present in your transitions. Yeah. Move like a mama cow, slow and steady and soft. If you need something when you arrive on your back, a hug of your knees or anything at all, please honor the longing of your soft animal body. And so we just had that right hip in some pretty deep external rotation. Now we're going to take it into internal rotation. So my thought for this evening was kind of out in, out in, that we talk in yoga, we sort of glorify opening, right? It's always about open your hips and open your hearts. And there's such a beauty to closing as well, and sort of folding your petals back in and gathering. So we're going to open and close tonight. And so what we'll do here is you're on your back. You can take your feet a little wider than your hips, arms anywhere. I have mine down in a soft V beside my body, palms to the floor, and just start to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. So rocking, go a little slower than you want to. Rocking all these big, thick tendons and ligaments and connective tissue in your hips. I was leading teacher training. I have a group that's almost finished right now. And we were doing some work on the hip girdle and the shoulder girdle this weekend. And the big takeaway was that the tissues, the tendons and ligaments and connective tissues of your hips are like lasagna noodles, and your shoulder, they're like fettuccine. So imagining all these thick lasagna noodles that wrap around your hip joint, over, under, back, forward, side of it, and just letting them all loosen, become more cashmere-like, more silky and soft. And when your knees drop over to the left, you could keep them there. And that might be plenty for you. We're really thinking about this right leg, what's happening at this right hip joint. And so it's in some pretty deep internal rotation right now. You could even support it. If you need to stick a blanket under your right knee, that could be nice. Or if you want to go a little bit more here and have more sensation, you could pick up your left foot and hook it over the outside of your right knee. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can always check on me. I always demonstrate at the beginning here. And so organizing yourself in a way that's sustainable, where you feel something, but it's not too much. If you want to add any props, you're always welcome to be creative with your props. And then once you find your place in the shape, your most organic resting place, then let your tissues settle, let your bones settle. Let your muscles loosen off your bones. Holding each pose for about 4 minutes this evening. But please know that if it's ever wildly uncomfortable, then that's not what we're here for, right? We're not here to torture ourselves. Life is hard enough. So you can always change, shift, vary your shape if you need to. But also working with our relationship to discomfort. Right? And the many ways that we try to avoid discomfort. And sometimes I like in this practice just to think about shaking its hand, like, oh, here you are. Hello. Nice to meet you again. And can we be friends? Can we live in the same body together? Maybe it helps to soften your skin and your mouth, and to breathe into a softer belly. Notice where your mind wants to go, and if it's wandered off, you can bring it to the sensation of the breath at the tip of your nostrils. Notice the cool breath touching the edges of your nostrils as it comes in, and the warm breath as it leaves. We come out of this one, I'm gonna windshield wipe again. So, the timings are always a suggestion as well. So, if something is really interesting and you want to linger, please do. If you're ready to come out, you can come out and then wash it off with a few more wipers of your knees side to side. In between, I offer suggestions like this for how to wash off the last pose. But if there's something that your body is really craving, always follow that longing. You are your best teacher for me, okay? And sometimes it's nice just to be really still in between shapes. We're going to kind of do a circle around. So we'll do both sides of this internal rotation before we flip back over and do the frog sphinx on the other side. And so when you're ready, you'll have your knees this time dropped over to the right side, and we'll do the same shape on the other side. And you can decide if on this side you want to do it the same way, or if something is a little different than the last side. I like one of my favorite yin teachers, Kira Sloan, often talks about the tyranny of symmetry. We're not symmetrical, we're not square, we're not symmetrical. So just honor really whatever sort of curvy roads your body wants to take. And then settling in, spreading out, letting all the waters of you seek the low place. And I was thinking about this class and planning it. I was thinking about waters, about rivers, and about lately I've been feeling like I'm this river that's just always flowing out, doing, going, helping, managing, fixing. And there's not a lot of flowing back in, and I think a lot of us are like that we're rivers flowing out, and how crucial it is to also let the waters flow in, let the care pour in, let the rest pour in. And so that's my invitation to you, that you could let go of any control here, any need to manage or fix. And if you're someone who gives a lot of energy out, just trusting that there's also a time and a place where it needs to flow in. And so, how do you do that for yourself? You're here, which is one way. But what other ways can you find rivers flowing into you? You can do a little peek around your internal landscape. Let your attention wander over the fields, the rivers, the peaks and valleys of your body to look for anywhere that you're gripping, any big swaths of tissue that have been in the on position just habitually that you might turn off for a moment. When we do come out of this one, it's really feeling into the nuance of sensation, especially around your hips. It might be new, you can come out whenever you're ready. You don't often practice internal rotation of the hips, and so feeling how that affected your body. Noticing any warmth or coolness, any hum, any vibration. Delightful hum of a human body. And so you got a little time here. Where we're headed next is to that half frog sphinx on the other side, but please do take some time until you feel like those twists are a memory, that your body has let go of them. If and when you are ready, you'll bring yourself slow-mo. Try to stay low and slow as you spill over onto your front this time to come into Sphinx. And you can keep it simple again, or you can bend your left knee and stick, if you're using a prop, you can put anything underneath your left knee if you like, to add a little bit more external rotation, or you can keep it simple, no props. You can put the block under your head if you like. Encouraging every drop of your body to move in the direction of the ground. And feeling this lovely space that you've created for your organs, that your organs can function so well when you give them lots of space. They're so happy. That's it. So now you're inviting earthiness into that left side of your pelvis, left hip joint. All those lasagna noodles that wrap around your hip. Let them loosen their grip on the bone. And feeling into the weight of your bones. We were talking last week about how we don't think about it that much, but bones feel a lot, and bones can carry tension, or bones can carry fatigue. Bones can feel joyful. How do your bones feel tonight? We're not hunting for sensation. We're not urgent about needing it, but just noticing where it is, noticing what part of your body is the most visible to you right now. And leaning into that sensation, trying to stay with sensation, as opposed to words. Stay with the feeling. Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it condensed in one place, or does it spread out? In these last few moments, just looking for anywhere at all that might be able to release, even just 5%, maybe your mouth, cheeks, teeth, tongue. Maybe one more layer of softening through the belly. Maybe around your seat, those great big muscles, gluteus maximus, gluteus minimus. They work hard for you all day long. Now they can rest. They can sigh. When you come out of this one, I give you a moment here. I mean, I don't give it to you. You always have a moment, but take a little bit of time for yourself and just feel into what you need. You might want to come to all fours and do some moving of your spine. You might want a child's pose. You might want to just lay there. You might want to roll over, take a mini shavasana. There's so many ways you can be in this moment. None of them are wrong. Trying to really feel into the longing of your bones. Nurturing that longing in your heart, whatever that motivation was you thought of in the beginning of the practice, longing for relief, for connection, or steadiness. We might continually water that like it's a garden. And then we're gonna stay on our front side for the next couple of shapes here. Next few ones. And the next one we're going to do is a broken wing. So we did the hips open, the hips close. Now we'll do some shoulder girdle open, shoulder close. And so let's do right arm. We'll do it together. Right arm is going to go out to the side. The left palm rests next to your chest. I'm going to bend my left knee and roll over that right edge of the body to drop the left foot behind. You might take a pillow or block for your head if that feels nice. Lots of ways you can play with this one. You might move this arm that's out to the side. You could move it down a bit towards your feet. You could move it up a bit in the direction of your head, and it's going to give different sensation. And so you're in charge of how, what, where you feel things here. And so taking some time to find one of these broken wing shapes that fits you, and how much you kind of fall back into it is also up to you. If you need to change, to come out, relief, remember that's totally legal. Add props or remove props as you like. And now thinking about all those lovely little lasagna, not lasagna, all the little fettuccine noodles that connect your arm to your axial skeleton. You have 32 bones from the humerus down to your fingertips. And they're connected to your skeleton just by these thin fettuccine noodles that wrap all around your rotator cuff. And so letting that whole joint soften. And I know that this one, it can be a lot. And so we're just training here. This is where the training is, right? To move towards the vulnerable place, to cultivate the willingness to turn toward, to feel what's there, but not ever to the point of harm. And how profound that is when we can take that teaching into our lives. Like, truly, that's the magic. Cultivating the willingness to turn toward and to let it soften us instead of harden us. You could notice if the pose causes any tension or discomfort, that you might be able to soften. And maybe, it shows up sometimes in funny places, like my face always wants to take all the brunt of everything. My face or my low back. Okay, we're not here forever. So settling in for just a moment longer if you can. Animals are my favorite part of Zoom yoga. So, unlike the hips where we did a little roundabout circle of shapes, we're just going to go right, left here. So we'll come out of this one and take a resting shape that serves you well for a moment. And it'll be the same shape on the other side when you're ready, but truly there's no rush. Always, my encouragement is always to go a little slower than you want to. Take a little more space for yourself, a little more time in between things. I mean, what a relief it is to not have to rush, right? Can we feel into that for a moment? What a relief just to be here on the earth, to not have to manage, fix, keep anything together, to be completely supported, so much so that you can loosen all muscle from bone. And to not have to rush. That's been my word. I often tell you all in this class that I have a word that I don't know, it just sort of pops up for me, not necessarily that I work with or a mantra, but a word that feels powerful. And right now it's relief. That when I don't want to meditate, and I think, don't you want relief? When I practice yin, I say thank you for the relief. This is not related to anything, but I've been, I don't know, it's been like 4 or 5 months now. I've been meditating every day joyfully, and that's never happened in my life. And it made me think about a friend asking me probably 15 years ago about, how was my meditation practice? And I was honest and was like, yeah, it's like really rare. And she was so lovely and gentle. And she said, yeah, it'll probably come when you're older. And now, as I'm inching my way towards 50, it just sort of arrived. And so I just offer that to you if you're not there and you want to be there with a meditation practice, that it might come. It might just be natural at some point. So, not to put too much stress on yourself about it. And take another breath and let the exhale be so long. Just ride the out breath all the way out to its coattails. And let's bring it on back. Come on home and rest in any way that feels good, or move in any way that feels nourishing to your joints. So that was our external movement of the arm, of the shoulder. That was our river flowing out. And now we get the river that flows back in. And you don't have to do it yet. I'll just show you what we're going to do, and you can kind of watch from wherever you are. I'm going to come onto one side. I suppose it doesn't matter which side, actually. And I'm kind of doing like a Vishnu's couch pose almost. I got a hand on my head, I got my knees bent, and my legs stacked on top of each other. And then I'm going to take this top arm and just drip it behind me, so the back of my hand is coming towards my low back. Any amount. And you could play with this a little bit. Sometimes I like to roll back and just feel, and then roll forward and see if I can scooch it up towards the back of my heart, maybe a teensy bit more without too much force or effort, and roll back. And so see where you're at with this one. And it might even be enough that you take this arm, you internally rotate, and you drape it back there, and you're good there. That might be so much sensation and really enough for you. Okay, if you wanted more, I should show you this way. If you want, you could start to roll onto your palm any amount, maybe even rolling all the way onto your back, so that your feet are on the ground. You can do whatever you want with the other hand. Okay, so we're playing with this internal rotation of the arm for a bit here. And again, kind of like internal hip rotation, it's not something super familiar to us. So be very tender and gentle with your body. In this shape, I really delight in the weight of my body. Can you just enjoy the weight of your body falling into the earth? Enjoy your skin, the weight of your blood and waters, the weight of your bones. feeling into what part of your body is most visible here. Turning towards it and letting it make you softer, that sensation. All the snow where I am. I'm thinking about Rumi, and Rumi would say, be like melting snow. And can you be like melting snow here? You can come on out of this side. And just releasing that arm however you see fit. You might land on your back in a little mini Shavasana, resting shape, or curl up on your side for a bit. Again, there's no wrong answer. Anything you want to do or not do is welcome. And being there for the after pose. Oh, sometimes the after pose is the best part. Applying all that chi, the beautiful prana, all those bubbly, effervescent molecules of energy coursing through your system. Let them be free, let them flow through every joint, every limb, every organ, every muscle, joint, tendon, ligament, bone. When and if you feel ready, it's the same shape on the other side. No rush. Curl up your knees, you're on your side body, one hand perhaps holding your head, and the top arm will drape behind your back of your hand, somewhere in the direction of the back of your heart, but it doesn't have to be there. Anywhere in the direction up. And if it feels okay to roll back, you can roll back and rest your body weight on your arm. You are rolling back all the way onto your arm. See if you can really allow your front ribs to soften and melt into your back ribs. The whole front of your body, wherever you are actually, the front of you can empty into the back of you. The back of you, whatever part's touching the ground, can really spread out on the earth like a great lake, soft and wide and deep. Remember, nothing about this should be torturous. I like Tiffany Cruikshank teaches yin, and she often talks about just go 50%. 50, 60% max is really all you need so that you can be there for all the little subtle sensations. And you can notice if you push too hard, if it starts to feel flat, the shape. And then when you back off, sometimes it comes alive again. I love when a cat climbs on you. Oh, that's just the best. The cat is like a sandbag. It's the best prop. You can all imagine you have a cat on your chest. And allow your front to soften, your heart to spread out towards the back of your body. Right? We often talk about open your heart, doing all these back bends. But can you also let your heart fall back into your chest? That it doesn't have to always jump out. It can snuggle in, it can come home. Move your animals to come back. Can make your way out of this shape in your own time, at your own pace. Move or rest. And we don't have a lot of time left, but I did want to get these last two shapes in just to kind of complete, make it full circle this practice. And so we're going to do a puppy followed by a forward bend. So the puppy we're just going to do for about a minute, and then we'll do a longer forward bend. And so again, take your time. You don't need to rush there. For the puppy, you can climb your way. Remember, mama cow walking through the field in no rush at all. Climbing your way to all fours. You can always put something under your knees if they feel sensitive at all. And then for puppy, you walk arms forward and let your chest dangle. Could be a place where you put your head on a pillow or block. If you have a bolster, not everybody does, but it could be a place for a bolster under head or chest. But the idea is really that you've got the spine that kind of hangs like a hammock. Maybe your forehead comes to the floor or a block or doesn't, but trying to get this sense of from the hips to the crown, it's like a string of Christmas lights dangling. Just soften and spread out here. Beautiful. Touch into that, what Pema calls the soft spot again, place of your longing, of why you practice, why do you show up again and again, what is your longing, and to cherish that longing and nurture that beautiful longing, and know that it connects us. You know, your longing and my longing and our longing, it's what connects us. So we're not here for that long. You can go ahead and start to make your way out. We're going to climb it back up. If you want any relief for your spine, like a cat pose or some moving cat-cow type thing, you can go for it. And then eventually we're going to finish it up tonight with a caterpillar. So caterpillar is the long leg, forward bend, legs. I always have to kind of shake my legs out because I'm so conditioned, like so many years of vinyasa yoga, like engage and flex. And so I'm like, okay, You're off the clock, legs, and then you round and fold yourself over and feel free to slump over and feel free to stack up any type of prop underneath your head, underneath your hands, anything at all. You can even wrap your arms underneath your legs. I love to do that just a little bit above the knees, bottom of the thighs. Let your head go, let your jaw go, let your tongue be soft, your right inner cheek, your left inner cheek. Even your eyelashes can relax. Be like melting snow. Empty yourself of yourself. And just an FYI here, I always try to be very timely, but it is 7:29, and I would love if we could stay for like 3 or 4 more minutes total here. But if you need to go, thanks, Jen, you can always take a little shavasana, and I honor your time. Otherwise, let's spend another couple minutes of really settling in. Let yourself arrive in the most natural, organic place that your bones could settle. Allowing your skin to be like an antenna here, as every little hair on your skin is listening, feeling the texture of the air. As you breathe, imagine the breath touching the inner lining of your skin, allowing for a space between your muscles and your skin. Breathing through your hands and your feet, even your fingernails and toenails, breathing with you. Start to roll yourself up, and we'll rest. And so whatever rest looks like to you, feels like to you, it could be a simple shavasana. If you want to toss your legs over a chair or up a wall, you could. If you want to sit and do a more seated meditation practice for a minute, you could do that, giving yourself some time to absorb, compressed and twisted and pulled and squished. And now you let every cell delight in that work, in the nectar of that work, every organ drinking it in, every muscle, fiber, thread, tissue in your body, the whole living matrix, joyfully soaking in all that good work, and especially your soft, tender heart, a soft spot, being nourished here. Please feel welcome to stay. If you'd like to start gathering threads of your breath and attention and body back, and start to feel your way back up. Slowly, luxuriously, silky still. Making your way to sit if you're not already there. And if you want to come up, you can seal this all in together. This beautiful work, our beautiful collective human longing. You can touch your hands to your body or put them together at your heart, anywhere that feels nurturing. I'll chant one Om if you want to join from home. Om. Thank you, everybody. Lots of love and peace on this beautiful evening. And I'll see you next week.